Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. And well, pre-release has already happened, and the new Universes Beyond Magic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has come out. And yeah, I shouldn't say finally, I got my stuff in, everything but the pizza bundles. So I did order a commander deck, and I was thinking about maybe opening this up and just running through it and stuff. We'll see. I did get one of these turtle team-ups, which is the box. This camera doesn't really show up. Let's put it this way. It barely fits where I've got the camera sitting here. Quite a bit bigger than the commander deck. This really piqued my interest because this is a 2 to 4 player co-op game where you're not actually playing against each other. You're playing against a deck of bosses and stuff like that, enemies. And that sounds like a lot of fun sometimes, you know? But, so it's got one enemy deck with 11 bosses, 4 14-card Magic the Gathering Teenage Ninja Turtle play boosters, 17 event cards, and then 4 60-card Magic decks. So, yeah. Again, I might dive into this, but first, before we get into all that, I got a play booster box. I wasn't really sure about the set, and frankly, we spent a lot on Lorwyn, so I wanted to kind of take it easy on this one a little bit more. Which is funny because, yeah, I've been pretty. I like the Ninja Turtles. I'm not saying this is like one of those I'm not saying I was super excited for the set or anything like that, but I will say that after we saw all the previews and all that kind of stuff, the special treatments and the collector boosters really piqued my interest, which is kind of a bummer. Because, yeah, we're not going to really see that in the play boosters that much. But, you know, I do want to get a kind of variety of the cards. And so we do have those 2 pizza bundles coming in the future, which will have 2 collector booster on each. But I did order 1 collector booster along with this one. Just to, you know, wet my whistle, so to speak. So, yeah. What I'm going to do, I really want to open the collector booster first, but I'll be kind of responsible, and we'll go ahead and dive into this play booster first. And I will say, one thing I did notice, kind of ironic that they even say this, because, yeah, but a turtle in every pack. Okay, I mean, there's like half the cards in the set are turtles. So, no surprises there. Anyhow, so, play boosters. Nothing too crazy to be able to spawn here. So this is why I was a little worried about the set, is because for me, I'm looking at it from a nostalgia point of view, and I want to see the old Ninja Turtles that I like. These new ones, these look like chibis to me, which is fine, but it's not the Ninja Turtles that I grew up with, you know. Even these guys are a little bit new, to be honest, but these are at least a little closer. But anyhow. Looks like the packs do have different art on them. That's cool. But, so we got, it's the same. So it just looks like the 3. But anyhow, we'll dive into it. I'm hoping to find a few of the scene cards. I think, so they don't really have the scene cards in these play boosters as often as they used to. I liked it when it was like 1 every 4 packs or something, but I think it's like we're going to probably see 1 to 2 in a box. But we'll see. We are just past the pre-release, so this is like Monday after pre-release, so the pricing is still not going to be what we'd expect to see. But as far as the cards to keep an eye out for, Super Shredder. Super Shredder is definitely the most expensive currently as far as in regular treatments. What I'd like to see personally is at least one of the Krang Ultron Warlords, the one that gives all your artifact creatures trample, indestructible, and haste. Some other things like Cool But Rude, Dark Leo, and Shredder. A few things like that. Turtles in Time. Oh, and the ooze. The ooze is one of the ones that I want to get. I'm hoping to get an extended art of that, but I don't care if I pull it so much. It's not crazy expensive. But anyhow, and currently for uncommons, let's see what they've got. None of the uncommons are anywhere near $1, so you don't really have to worry about the commons, uncommons, but I'm going to kind of flip through a few of these. I will say there are 4 cat cards in this set that I'm going to hopefully be keeping an eye out for. Hoping we pull a few of those. And yeah. I'm also curious about a couple things like these. I have a news deck. I'm kind of curious to see if we see anything else that stands out. There's one. Ooh. Donatello Away with Machines. It's got the new chibi look, but still pretty cool. And it's an uncommon. Northampton Farm. Sacrifice this land. Return a creature card that exiled with this land to the battlefield under your control. Return each other card exiled with this land to its owner's control. And so you just build it up. It's kind of like a... So is this exile target creature you own? Oh. So it's not even like coming out of the graveyard or anything. But yeah. Alright. Lands. Tokens. Commons. Get all this organized real quick. Commons. Uncommons. And common for the foil. Alright. See if we can't get through these things. So it's too much of your time. But Foot Elite. The whole foot thing is always funny. Makes me want to try to build a foot deck just to be weird. It's kind of weird. You see that? There's a uncommon, then there's another common in there. Have to be careful for that, I guess. Turtle Forever. This is a pretty interesting card because you're searching, tutoring basically for 4 legendary creature cards from outside of the game. So, or from in your library if you want. And then your opponent gets to choose which ones go in your hand, and the rest go back into your deck. Can't complain too much about that. As far as lands, by the way, there are a couple lands from the commander decks. I don't know that they're going to end up in these packs, but they do have a couple good lands from the commander decks. And I'd love to see an Undercity Sewers as far as a scene card, or whatever they're calling those. I do like that card. Or the doubling season. I'd love to get the doubling season. Yeah, there's another common right there. I'm not a fan of that. They slip another common in. Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. I do like these lands though. They're not too bad. I don't mind having little things in the background like this. I don't like it being so much like the pizza lands. I know nobody likes those. Part of me likes them just because they're kind of weird, but it's really going to depend on the deck. The other part of me does not like them. It's kind of like the gold bordered stuff from Aether Drift. You like it a little bit because it's so crazy. Treader's Armor. Raphael. See, that one didn't have an extra common. Splinter, Radical Pet. Foot Headquarters. You see, at least we got copy tokens. I've been complaining about that for a while. We did at least get some of those. Pretty specific with the with their masks on there, but I'm okay with that. What do you guys think of the Ninja Turtle set? I do think, is that Negate? I think that it's going to be controversial. I think these play boosters are not necessarily going to be all that popular because I think the best parts about the set are going to be in the collector boosters. Excuse me. Southwind Avatar. TCR I building. Got hiccups. Those 8-bit cards, though, they really hit the nail on the head with those. And it's kind of a shame that they didn't do 8-bit cards for any of the previous sets. The Final Fantasy 8-bit cards would have been killer. Michelangelo, Improviser, and also a Mythic, which is a great pull. We got a rare of the Ooze. Like I said, I did want to get the extended art, but worst case, I do have this one. Fugitive Droid. And we got a foil land as well. That was a good pack. The Foot Elite. April O'Neil Hacktivist. Yeah, like I said, as far as the set goes, it definitely has a little bit of a Spider-Man feel. Maybe not quite as bad. I'm not getting as many of the foods and just random, city pigeon kind of stuff. But that's not to say that there aren't some of them in here. More negates. I do use negates. I'm not going to complain about those. I'd like to see more stuff like that. Stuff like your staples, the like cheap cards that you use in a lot of deck. I'd love to see a lot more of those come in packs. Weathermaker. Illegitimate Business. I said the only thing that sucks is they make these really cool 8-bit cards, and they're just not going to be attainable. I've watched people open them. It seems like they get them like maybe every two boxes. So even if you get a box, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get at least one. That in itself is kind of a bummer, especially if you just want to get like one of the 8-bit cards. Like at that point, you're better off just buying a Weathermaker in 2 packs in a row. That's unfortunate. I mean, maybe it's a good card, but I don't think so. Right? I mean, it's a 3-mana. It's a 3-mana rock, and then you add up the charge counters, and you can start tapping it for 2 mana, or remove 3, and you can deal 3 damage to the target. I mean, it's better than a few of the other ones, especially if you're doing something in landfall. But Mythic and foil, Northwind Avatar. When this creature enters, if you cast it, you may put a card you own from outside of the game into your hand. Man, they really like bringing cards from outside of the game into your hand. I don't know. This thing looks like it's shifted up too. There's a big gap down here, and it's pretty tight up there. I mean, being able to pull a couple cards from outside of the game here and there is kind of fun, but too much of it. I don't know, we'll see. It's gotta be weird in the pre-release though, right? Like, you're gonna get this and just run up and buy some crazy card from the store. So you get a foil borderless. So we got double of them actually. So we got Jenica Bat Apple's Big Sister, and we could see that we also got the foil version of that too. And we did get Cool But Rude, which is a good card. So that's not a bad pull. Escape Tunnel is actually pretty useful card. I think I've got a few of them, but it can be useful in those low power decks. Or if you just need to land and make damage. Grounded for Life. There's this borderless, and then there's also the showcase treatment. Shredder, Unrelenting, Jenica, Bad Apple Sister. We just got 2 of those in that last pack. And we got the last Ronin, Mythic Saga. Destroy all creatures, mill 4 cards, then when you do, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever your creature you control attacks alone this turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. 8 trample, lifelink, and indestructible. Turtle Blimp. Kind of feels like the UFO card from Final Fantasy. I did order the Turtle Secret Lair. That was today, actually. And it looks like none of them have sold out, which is kind of crazy. Normally, we've got at least 1 lair that's sold out. Skateboard. See, that's... What's funny is Skateboard actually... When this equipment enters, tap target permanent. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. So you're given haste to something for 1 equip cost. Raphael, Ninja Destroyer, and Bebop and Rocksteady. We got 2, and we got a foil in the gate. Not going to complain about that one. Stomped by the Foot. Yeah, I feel like there's enough foot adjacent cards at this point. And then probably looking through some of the old Magic cards and stuff, you could probably build a Foot Lovers deck or something weird like that. Alright, Chrome Dome for our rare. And then Dimension X for a land. I will say I've seen a few cards, including the Ooze card, that I'm at least considering for my Ooze deck. Which I guess isn't too big of a surprise. You got a set that's based around people getting powers from Ooze. So, and then this right here, Kitsune's Technique. This is another one I was looking for, and I actually really like the art on this. This card. So if you take the turtle off here, this looks like a regular Magic card, to be honest. I mean, even with the turtle, it's not that bad. If you've got a mill deck, if you can land damage to someone, you can sneak this thing out and mill half of someone's library. And most mill decks are going to have something to be able to maybe double that. I've got a mill deck that this is going in for sure. Spicy oatmeal pizza. See, this isn't what I don't like. I could go without having 500 different foods. A lot of mutagen tokens. At least got some ninjas. Insect Warrior. Ice Cream Kitty. That's one of the cats. I probably have missed it, and you guys have probably already seen it because I actually haven't been paying that much attention. But there are a few more cats. I think at least 2 of them are rares, though. So, Leonardo Big Brother, Turtle Power. I'm going to build a turtle deck in addition to having the commander deck from the set. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, three mana, this thing can be flashed out. It's kind of a neat enchantment. Turncoat, Kunachi. I mean, anything with sneak is going to be interesting. Exile creature until this leaves. And if you paid sneak, you just exile it altogether. That's not bad. Food with the skateboard and Insect Warrior. So now I'm actually looking for a cat card. I won't find it. The last Ronin's Technique. Shredder's Technique. Michelangelo Mutant BFF. The chibi art. I think my wife's going to like those. Then we got Toka and Wazir. Terrible Twos. Spell cannot be countered. Menace whenever a player casts a spell. If the amount of mana spent to cast this was less than the mana value. This will deal 3 damage to that. So you're going to punish some people if they're cheating some stuff out. That's not bad. I don't know that it's worth it, but still kind of neat. Got a robot token. Seen a lot of those Mouser factories. It is one of the downsides to this set. It is a smaller set, so there's going to be fewer cards. We're going to see some more duplicates, especially in those commons and stuff like that. Especially with having an extra common in a lot of these. If I put it in the right spot. Savanti, Romero Time Exile. Sorry, I got distracted. I thought that was the Shredder card. And Transdimensional Bovine. Have you guys seen this thing with the floating head? It's an interesting one. It's a 0/4 Manador. I do have that Ox deck. It's actually kind of perfect for it. But that Ox deck has not worked. I tried it. It doesn't work. I've got to fix it. It's broken. It's actually one of the few decks that I've seriously considered tearing apart. I'm not really one to take decks apart very often. It is one that I was thinking about. I need to just sit down and revamp it, see if I can't fix it. But, yeah. Alright. Go Ninja, go. It's a Donnie card. Oh, there's the other cat card. Sally Pride, Lioness Leader. And then the showcase treatment in that. Manhole Mission. My wife will be happy if I get all the cat cards for her. We still have one from Avatar I forgot completely about until when I went to put these on the list. Omni Cheese Pizza. I don't know. Bespoke Turtle Lair. From above. Donatello Gadget Master and Ninja Teen. Let's see what that is. Look, headquarters. There's another copy token and a rat. See? Those are both useful. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have menace. Creature cards in the graveyard have sneak 4. You may cast creature spells from your graveyard using the sneak abilities. I mean, it fits with black. Doing graveyard things. Foot Ninjas, Dimensional Exile, Fugitive Droid, Shredder's Armor, Michelangelo Game Master, Triceraton Commander, it's a Mythic, and New Generational Technique, Mutant Town, foil. Leonardo Leader in blue. There, Conqueror's Flail. Mythic. It's pretty cool looking art too. So we got equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each color among the permanents you control. As long as its equipment is attached to a creature, your opponents cannot cast spells during your turn. Krang, Mastermind. This is the other Krang. It's got affinity for artifacts, and when he enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. He gets +1/+1 for each other artifact you control, but he is 8 mana. Thankfully, you have affinity, but oof. So there's a few artifact cards, friendly cards in here in this set, and with this being the standard, I am very curious to see what people are doing for an artifact deck, because this might be just the thing needed to kind of push off a few more artifact decks. But I haven't actually played standard in a few sets now. I need to catch up, get on some arena and play. I've been playing too much TFT and Arc. Alright. Raphael, Tough Turtle, Krang and Shredder. Another common. The TCRI building. I don't know. I can't really tell where we're at, how it's feeling. Like I said, we haven't pulled a Super Shredder or anything like that. We haven't pulled the good Krang that I wanted. We did pull a Cool but Rude, but I don't know if those are going to stay up in price or not with this set. Turtle Blimp, Baxter Stockman, Leatherhead, Swamp Stalker. It's got a hexproof counter. Savanti, Romero, times Exile. We got that before. I think it's pretty clear for me, though. There definitely are some things I want to play, and I'm actually pretty excited for the Commander deck. I kind of want to talk about why, but I think what I'm most excited for are the special treatments and stuff in those Commander or Collector boosters, which makes the Play Booster box a little less exciting. But Mikey and Leo, Chaos and Order, Leonardo, Mutant Town. So what does this do? Enters taps, enters, you gain a life. Just another life gain land that comes in tapped. Got a cat coming through here. Alright, we got a nobody. Mighty Mutants. Michelangelo Game Master. Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. Yeah. There's another one. There's an Ice Cream Kitty that I already got. I already pulled that one. Foot Headquarters. You know, I don't know if I've ever really talked about this. But some of these sets, I don't mind the Universes Beyond stuff, but I would like to see more. I'd like to see stuff that's more like the scene cards, or not scene cards, where we're actually seeing. I'd like to see it be a regular Magic card, and then just have extra, an extra name and artwork that makes it a Teenage Mutant Ninja card. And that way we don't have a ton of these for people who don't want to play Universes Beyond, that would at least mean that there should be a regular Magic version somewhere. And we don't get too flooded with Universes Beyond stuff in Standard, because that's kind of, there's a lot of sets right now, and then it can get to be a little overwhelming. Get another Ooze. I really do like the art on those. I know I kind of bashed the chibi look, but the chibi look here looks cool. Chibis when they're actual kids. Look how many mutagen cards. It's the mutant, I guess, on the back. Dinosaur Soldier. Are the dinosaurs in here that I need to worry about for my dino deck? Doubt it, but Dimensional Exile, Fugitive Droid, and Kitsune Dragon's Daughter. So you can exchange control of 2 other target creatures. That's interesting. Another copy token. All right, we're down to 3 packs. And like I said, I know we're in pre-release pricing, but I just don't know. I don't know if we even made up what we spent so far. Like we did get the Cool But Rude, so I can't say we didn't get anything big, but just feels like we're missing a little bit. I mean, we did get a good mythic as far as that goes. In the they're not Steam cards, right? They're I can't even think what they're called now. Raphael, the Night Watcher, and then Dark Leo and Shredder. See, that was a good one, right? So currently, Dark Leo and Shredder is. So right now, this is $9. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's going to stay there, but that's not bad. Another mutagen token. Too much. Too much with the mutagen tokens. Way, way too much, guys. And if you're going to just spam it, at least make it be some food tokens and some copy tokens and stuff. Stuff that you can use outside of this set. Too much. I know they want to make sure that we have them because there's a bunch of cards that have that, but man, that is too much. Like, rather than do this, why not to make sure that, pre-release, make sure that they're trying to make sure that pre-release has the tokens, right? But why not just include a set of tokens in the pre-release kit and the bundle for that matter? I think both of those should come with a whole set of every token needed for this entire set. Maybe even more, maybe doubles on the bundle. Why? Like, that would make me want to buy a bundle. I buy a bundle at launch, and then I have all the tokens I need to be able to do whatever I want with the set. I have a stack of lands and stuff. We got foil lands. Armageddon Future Shark. Destroy up to 3 target creatures. It's 8 mana, but man, 9/6, you bring this thing back in, you cheat it back, it starts to get nasty. And our last pack. Death in the Family, Skateboard, Genghis Frog, Raphael, Most Attitude, and Don and Raph, Hard Science. The Last Run's Technique, and foil. That's an uncommon. We got a mountain with the jumping through the background in a New York City. All right, and we did not get a mutagen token, so I'm gonna scan all this and see where we are. But first, maybe we should open this collector booster, and then I can scan all this and this. What do you guys think? All right. I couldn't hear you. By the time you've seen this, I've already done it, but I'm going to open this collector booster. Maybe we'll have good luck. By the way, have you guys seen the pricing on these art cards if you get them signed? So we can see that this is a Leonardo Sewer Samurai, number 1 of 54. Alright, got illegitimate business. I'm going to put these aside. I don't want to mix them in with that. Primordial Pachyderm, Grounded for Life. We got a bunch of those. Punk Frogs, Omni Cheese Pizza, Saved by the Shell, Death in the Family, Genghis Frog. I just saw Search, I think, somewhere. Thought I saw it here, but maybe not. Ash Barons. So we got a pizza. It is not a Search, but we did get a pizza. A Mountain. All right, Splinters Technique. In foil. When you sneak, this is 2 mana. It's a tutor. It's not too bad, but I mean, it's not. You got to sneak it. Next up, we have Kitsune Dragon's Daughter, an extended art. Well, looks like we got a cool showcase card at the end there, at least. We got Krang Mastermind. This is the. I do really like the art on this. This is not the one that I was looking for, but I like the art for that one. And then we got. Hey, remember I said I wanted Undercity Sewers? We got one. It's not foil, but so I got my ooze deck, and I thought, even though there's not really ooze in this thing, I thought this would be a cool one to include. I actually don't have an Undercity Sewers in that deck, oddly enough. All right, so this is a mythic, and we know it's a showcase, and it's not. It's a Japanese showcase, but there's no Japanese text on these things anymore. So, what do we get? Dark, Leo, and Shredder. That's not a bad one to get either. That's actually a pretty good one. So, since I got it up on my screen here, this is currently $39.75. That's a good hit. And then after that, we have the art card, which is not a signed card, but is Leonardo Sewer Samurai. We can't complain. Right? We did not get an 8-bit card. I would love to get an 8-bit card. We did not get a Super Shredder. We didn't get a Casey Jones. We didn't get the Krang Ultram Warlord that I was hoping to get. But we did get a showcase, and we got a good one at that. All attacking ninjas have Death Touch. It's got a Sneak of 2. Whenever Dark Leo and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. And then if you control 5 or more ninjas, that player loses half their life rounded up. This could actually be a fun commander, especially with how cheap it is to get it out. Maybe that's something I'll consider since I pulled it. But yeah. Alright, so I'll be back. I'll get all this scanned in and then get all these scanned in separately as well, so we can kind of just run through how we did. We'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I got everything scanned in. Like I said before, it is pre-release. Pre-release was just yesterday. Right? Pre-release weekend was just yesterday. So we're not actually into the normal pricing yet, and it's early. So pricing is going to be kind of all over the place. There's going to be a couple cards that are probably going to rise up eventually if they're good, and there's going to be a lot of cards that are going to drop. Like, most cards are going to drop still. That said, with everything scanned, I can at least kind of give you an idea of where we landed so far. So it is a play booster box, and with that, you get a giant stack of commons. Like, big old stack of commons. And if you're like me and you scan every single item from a set, that can be a lot to sort through. It's a little much, to be honest. The uncommon stack that we had over here is a little bit better. This one, I guess the turtle layer is here. But a little bit better in size. And at least with the uncommons, we did get a few special treatments and stuff like that. As far as rares go, this is a stack of rares that are under $1 already, which is quite a bit for being in pre-release, to be honest. There's a lot that are already have just dropped. And we did have a few rares that were in that $1 to $2 range. I normally sleeve these things up, but to be honest with you, I think other than maybe one or two, I think most of these are going to drop below $1. A couple of them are like just barely over $1 anyhow. So I'm just going to wait and see how that lands. We did get a nice stack of the turtles jumping through the air full arts. Got a couple of foils, and then they're play boosters, right? They're designed for drafting. They do have a bunch of these randomly named tapped lands that give you health. It's interesting to see that these have a whole another set of names when there's actually a set of lands that are already like this. I'm surprised they It's the trouble of renaming them and everything. But I guess if for some reason somebody has some weird deck that doesn't mind that they're tapped or can deal with that and wants the life gain every time with lands, there might be even, more options for that. There's a couple of escape tunnels, and then you have these turtle layers, which you can let things get through, which these might actually end up being pretty good if you do ninjas or turtles. It's a pretty good card for that situation. And as far as tokens, I complained about it when we opened stuff up, but you get a lot of tokens. Like I said, without having art cards on here, feels like we get too much, to be honest. And I say that mostly because, I think half of these are mutagen tokens, And then you put them on dual-sided, which I don't mind dual-sided lands or tokens. I think it's nice to be able to get the options because you never know when you're going to find. You're going to need some random token. But I would like to see, and I've said this a bunch of times, we did get a bunch of food tokens, but please, if you're going to give us this many tokens, look at the tokens that maybe people need across the board. What's selling? What do people actually use? What are some of the popular cards? And let's see some of those, right? You might never use them in draft, but it would be great to buy these and actually, the amount of tokens I have, and I'm still buying tokens on TCG Player often, just for the decks that I'm playing, right? It's kind of crazy to me. But anyhow, as far as stuff that's over $2, so this is our stack here. I have not organized it. I'm just going to kind of wing it this time. I normally put them in order, but the total value of what we have here over $2 was $87.21. That's pretty bad. Given that we're still in pre-release pricing, that is really bad, actually. And then, there were a couple, like this Cool But Rude. This is $15.39. Dark Leo and Shredder, this is $10.18. And that Michelangelo, all the way at the back here, this is currently $9.72. Both of those oozes, those are $6.52. And that Northwind, that Mythic foil, this one right here is $6.11. It actually went down in price when I got it as a foil. Triceraton Commander, the Triceraton Commander, the dinosaur, is $5.14. Maybe it's actually a dinosaur card that I can actually use in my Dino deck. I didn't actually get a chance to read it, but Raphael was $4.14. Krang is $3.45 there. Kitsune's Technique is $3.27. Like I said, Great Mill card. Then Jatine is $2.99. This Rowan's Arsenal, which is a Commander's Flare, is $2.47, and Raphael is $2.18. So the total value of everything with all the bulk and stuff like that was a little bit better. It was $200, $200 even. But we can expect a lot of that to drop down as we get out of the pre-release pricing. There were a lot of cards that were still pretty cheap, but we didn't have any uncommons or anything like that were priced too high. But I still expect to see a lot more of that level off, and I expect our, over $2 values to drop down as well, which, at $87.21, that's still horrible, especially given that these boxes sell for kind of a premium because they're Universes Beyond. $87 and probably going to drop more is pretty bad. So that's a big bummer. That said, I did have the two cat cards here too. I just have those sleeved to put in my wife's deck or box there, her collection. I did open that commander or that collector booster. We did get a mountain foil with the pizza. This thing is currently like $2 and some change. I don't know if it's gonna drop or whatnot. I don't normally scan in regular lands unless there's secret layers. So as far as cards that were over $2 or under $2, was this Kitsune Dragon's Daughter extended art that was just under $2, and then these are all the cards that were over $2. The Undercity Sewers was the most expensive one at $15.92. That was a really good one to get. Splinter's Technique, the foil, was $6.85. And Krang Mastermind is $3.62. You'll notice I did not price this one. That is because when I scanned it, it did not come up. Now we do know that this thing is like $39, right? We already looked it up. So, yeah, we did pretty well in this box, or on this pack. The total price for this pack, $2 or more, was $28.03. Again, without this, which puts it at what, $80 and $88 or so in that range, $87. Yeah, that's just as good as we did our play booster, which is crazy. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say than that. I mean, we got lucky. We did pull a couple good hits, but the collector boosters having one of these cards every pack versus only getting one in this box is really making a difference, because each one of these, there's only, 20 of these, and most of them are pretty valuable. So that's going to hold up the pricing on the collector boosters, and it's going to hurt the pricing on the play boosters. And they're trying to sell play boosters for almost $50 more than they used to sell boxes of draft and set boosters and stuff. So yeah, they're going to have to do some adjusting to make these things worth it, because I haven't opened a play booster box in a while that's been worth it. Dustmorn, I guess. That was the last one, and that's only because Dustmorn has just tons of bangers. Yeah. So in the end, what we learned is buying one collector booster and being slightly lucky is a lot better than buying a collector or a play booster box, at least in our case. So anyhow, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you guys watching. We do have some secret layers coming in soon, but I don't know when they're going to come in. It's going to be a little while. We have one that's missing. We have, we have a few that have been ordered, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles layer. Who knows? They've been having so many delays on those. So until then, though, this is Binder Minder. As always, thanks for watching. To put us in your binder, like I'm going to do with at least a couple of these cards here, you can like and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified. You can also catch us on our social media, which is in the description below. And I hope everybody has a great day. Better than me, at least, right? So we'll see you soon. Bye.